This card is just so amazing and flavorful in this deck. Such an easy combo, I can't believe it. That is the most memorable art I've ever seen on a Magic card. Hey everyone, it's VM Campos, Magic fan, Oathbreaker fan. I've got a new video for you where I'm going to show you my strategy for creating an amazing Oathbreaker deck easily. With a pre-con deck. Let's check it out. Alright, so for this Oathbreaker deck, here is the commander, Kaya, Geist Hunter. Now, I'm using a proxy because this is one of the alternate arts. Always check with your play group how they feel about proxies. Anyway, Kaya. She's 3 mana, in black and white colors, previously known as Orjav, but that's Magic Boomer talk. This is now Silverquill. Starting loyalty of 3, +1. All your creatures gain Death Touch. Love that. And put a +1 on one of your token creatures. -2. Double your tokens. -6. Exile all cards from all graveyards, then create that many number of spirit tokens. With flying. It's a really fun, cool, powerful 3 mana mythic rare Planeswalker. Kaya Geist Hunter is perfect for this Oathbreaker deck. What's the signature spell? Good old effective, efficient card draw. 2 black mana, draw 2 cards. Lose a little life. Do it over and over and over because this is going to be your signature spell to just draw answers, get closer to winning the game. And so the big idea with this deck is small, efficient creatures and spells. Let's check out the actual deck. The actual deck is made from a pre-constructed event deck. Wizards of the Coast has created many pre-constructed decks throughout the years, and this is the one weird trick to create a great Oathbreaker deck quickly. Oathbreaker is 60 cards, and Wizards used to publish a lot of 60-card decks. So if we begin with one of these as the starting point, tweak it as we wish, we'll have a great deck because these are often, especially when they were standard legal, pretty powerful out of the box. We'll take them as our starting point because they often also have a theme that we can capitalize upon. So I've got here a Khans of Tarkir event deck. This one was released in whatever year I've got on the screen at the moment. It comes with 60 cards, 10 rares, and 15 card sideboard. So we're going to open it up just to see what's in the deck, what came with it originally, break it apart to be Oathbreaker legal, and then add to it to make it Oathbreaker amazing. Let's see what's in the deck. Spin down life counter, sure, I'll take that. Sideboard, we'll see what we'll take from this and add to the main deck. Divider, cool art on that. Rules and reference, we already know what we're doing. And some kind of cool poster. So officially this deck is known as the Conquering Hordes. I have an explanation here on how the deck plays. Pause it, read it on your own. Basically, lots of creatures, overwhelm the opponent. There's a sideboard. There's the original deck list for your records, where they originally were published as well. A little bit of artwork showing this guy that he just needs a hug. And on the backside, just some advertising for the hot new set, Khans of Tarkir, how tournaments work. Yeah, pause that, read that on your own. Are you new to tournaments? Read that. What are the various formats that exist? Read that. Tips for a successful event? Read that. Alright, let's open the actual deck. First I'm going to just put everything down, organize it, because there's duplicates. Remember, Oathbreaker can only have one of each, except basic lands. And after I organize them that way and cut out duplicates, then we'll see what cards we have, what synergies are in this deck. Then we'll open the sideboard, and lastly add cards to make the deck even better than ever. Alright, so after cutting all of the duplicates, adding the sideboard in, and organizing everything by type and mana cost, let me tell you what's left in the deck. With creatures, we've got a 1/1 for 1 that gains Death Touch, a 2/1 for 1 with Heroic. We're going to see a few of these that when you target this creature, like with an instant, sorcery, enchantment, stuff happens. This one, the opponents lose life, you gain life. In a 4-player game, you could be gaining 4 life every time you Heroic. Here's a creature that keeps coming back over and over. Here's a small creature that can keep getting bigger and bigger and makes more warriors. There's a pretty good warrior theme in the whole deck. 2 mana. Good old Oreskos Swiftclaw, the 3/1 for 2 mana. Cat Warrior. Hey, there's the guy in the package, and he's pretty mean. Every time you raid, if you first attack, that is, and then you summon this Skull Hunter, an opponent discards a card. These two are a nice little cute pair. Your warriors get +0/+1 and +1/+0. Get them both out at the same time, and I even love how their stats are mirrored. We just need their symbols to be mirrored. Here's a prowess creature. You don't have to target it directly, but whenever you cast a non-creature spell, instant sorceries, artifacts, enchantments, Planeswalker, this gets bigger, and you get lifelink. There's a little bit of extra card draw. When it untaps, it's inspired. You just get a little bit of pain. In the 3 drops, we get a scary demon that's really interesting. You can either cast it as a 3/3 demon, or cast it as an enchantment that goes on your creature that targets one of your creatures. And when that creature dies, this then becomes a creature. Very utilitarian. And here's a 2/3 that also brings a friend. And lastly, here in the creatures, bring back a small creature after you raid. Over on the sorceries, Despise. Target opponent reveals their hand, get rid of a creature or planeswalker from their hand. Exile any white permanent for 2 mana. All creatures get -2, and you scry 1. Be careful, this can take out your side of the board because most of your creatures are pretty small, so use this one carefully. Destroy an artifact or enchantment, gain some life. All your creatures get +2/+1, and all your warriors gain lifelink. And most of the deck is warriors. Instance, destroy any black creature for 1 mana. Give a creature -3/-3, and the other part really doesn't matter. We're playing Oathbreaker, there's only one of each, unless somehow they cloned their creatures. And this is some of the most violent art I've ever seen. Yeah, this guy is getting his neck cut front and center in the middle of a magic card. Anyway, silence those believers. 4 mana. To exile any creature, and pay 3 more mana to do it to more creatures. So this is a late game selective board wipe if you've got plenty of mana. We've got some enchantments over here. Whenever you summon creatures, you can pay to make spirits, and then you sacrifice spirits to make non-spirits indestructible. Synergy. All your creatures get +1/+0, and when your warriors deal damage, you draw cards. We got these 2 dictates that came with the deck. Dictate of Erebos. Flash this in. When your creature dies, their creature dies. And Dictate of Heliod. Flash this in to give all your creatures +2/+2. Amazing. Lastly, over here, Tormod's Crypt to wipe out their graveyard. Spear of Heliod to give all your creatures +1, and an amazing kill spell built into it in case anyone dares attack you. Exile anything, including the opponent's pesky planeswalkers, and then look at an opponent's hand and take something from there. Now this is going to be my first change to the deck. Everything I've shown so far came in the original deck. I'm going to take this one out. You can keep it here. It does the thing, definitely. But in a multiplayer game, it's a little too limiting. Plus the art is really scary. So I'm going to take this one out and add a little board wipe. 3 mana, Slaughter the Strong sorcery. Each player chooses any number of creatures they control with total power 4 or less, then sacrifices all other creatures they control. Your deck is full of a lot of smaller creatures, so you'll be able to save your creatures, and when the opponent's got big scary creatures, they must sacrifice them. If you play your cards right, you'll be the only one with creatures on the battlefield. As for the lands, well, we had 9 swamps in the original build, 10 plains in the original build, duplicates of Scoured Barrens, so I had to remove them to just have 1, a land that gives you both colors, gain a little life, and a rare land here that does the same thing but comes in untapped, damages you a little bit. So that's 21 lands in total. We need 24 for our deck, so we're going to add another swamp, and we're going to add another swamp plus a plains, and how about some cool Phyrexian lands? That one's shiny. At this point, I was very surprised that out of the box, this pre-con was just ready to go as an Oathbreaker deck. I added the Planeswalker, I added the signature spell, got the lands to 24, and now we only need 5 cards to make it compliant 60 cards for Oathbreaker. So here's the final 5. How about a bit more removal? 2 mana, Ossification, it's an aura. You enchant your land. It's got to be a basic land. Everything's basic, basically. And then what it does is it exiles a creature or planeswalker. 2 mana exile is amazing, and it'll target their key piece of the deck, their planeswalker. Here's a little bit of equipment that can get you over the top to win, giving your creature +2/+1. With an equip cost of 1, if you attack with a warrior, this can auto-snap into place, or pay 3 whenever else you need it. How about some removal for creature or planeswalker? We've got plenty of warriors, so that'll reduce the cost by 1. We've also got a wizard, so we can reduce the cost by 2 if we play things right. Or worst case scenario, 5 mana, remove their planeswalker. And this card's amazing. Korlash, Heir to Blackblade, a zombie warrior from 2007's Future Sight. In the future frame, this is how Magic would be in the future. So 4 mana in total for a star, which are equal to the number of swamps you control. So at the very least, it's going to be a 2/2, and it's most likely going to be bigger and bigger and bigger as you play your swamps. Simply playing your swamps makes you a bigger zombie warrior. And what's this? 2 mana to regenerate? So this is unkillable. Even the strongest creature will fall to Korlash. Grandeur is nothing to worry about in Oathbreaker because there's only one of this card in your whole deck. But I love this card, especially the Richard Kane Ferguson art, the #1 best artist of all time in Magic. Second place is Quentin Hoover. Look up his art, it's amazing. Rest in peace. And lastly, the card that must be banned in Oathbreaker soon, the Elder Spell. Before they ban it, let's put it in our deck. 2 mana to destroy any number of planeswalkers, except your own of course, and when you destroy those planeswalkers, put 2 loyalty counters for each planeswalker on your planeswalker. This card is busted. If you really want to be mean, put this as your signature spell, but watch how no one will want to play with you. So we'll be fair, we'll put it in the rest of the deck, and when this gets played, we got a Planeswalker Massacre, as Kaya gets stronger and stronger for her ultimate. And if we want to draw that card faster, we can Sign in Blood. And there you have my latest and greatest Oathbreaker deck. See how it all came together from a classic pre-constructed deck? You too can do this. Go out to your local game stores and go find some of these older decks, tear it apart, and make a great Oathbreaker deck. Tell them VM Campo sent you. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I would really appreciate it. If you really liked this video, go on over to my Patreon, patreon.com/vmcampos. Consider pledging for $1 a month to unlock exclusives, but to also help out the channel. Be a part of it all. Keep it going, keep it funded. For $1 a month, you can't not afford to do it. I would really appreciate it. You can also join here on YouTube. There's a join button, click that. Very affordably, help the channel out. Or maybe give a thanks to the video. That's another way that you can help out the channel. If you can't quite help monetarily at the moment, no worries. Simply like, comment, share, subscribe. You know what to do. It's the year 2023. So thanks for watching. This has been VM Campos, and I'll see you in the next video.